Hey, welcome into the Big Ten Huddle, where we are presented and brought to you by FanDuel. We very much appreciate you being here because you show up, unlike the AP poll. They suck. They don't show up. They don't watch games at this point. I have no idea what the heck is happening with the stupid AP poll. They're stupid voters. I have a lot of gripes, if you can't tell. And another guy who has just as many gripes as I do, I'm sure, Zach Guggenheim. Zach, how angry are you?
Listen. I'm upset, but I just think we need to calm down. I mean, at least they didn't leave Washington off the poll, right? Oh, they did? They didn't leave Illinois off the poll, right? Oh, they did. They didn't leave Michigan off the poll. Oh, they did. Yeah, I'm ticked.
Yeah.
These people don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Let's intro it with Dave's super chat here from the last podcast. So we got a little turnover here, but we'll start with some Wisconsin talk before we get into the AP poll, because Lord knows we're not talking Wisconsin when it gets to the AP poll. Wisconsin is the new Nebraska. Probably worse, even if they fire Fickle. It's going to take a long time for that program to change around. Dave, thank you for the $5 super chat. We greatly appreciate it. I mean, he's not wrong. I don't know about the new Nebraska, because they weren't winning national championships, but they were definitely a team that was obviously making bowl games and had a really good streak, and they were a consistent program. They were really bad before Barry Alvarez, and he kind of turned it all around. Yeah.
Yep. It's not. People forget Barry Alvarez took a long time to build that program up.
Oh yeah.
That's not going to be an easy turnaround.
No. I do think that you have a solid identity in that area, which helps. I don't know if Nebraska has solid identity when they moved over from the Big 12 to the Big 10. And I think that hurt them a little bit. I do think you have an identity you can go back to. Run the ball, offensive linemen. There's still good offensive linemen in the state of Wisconsin that you can pull from.
Mm-hmm.
You go out and get a really good running back. You got a lot of hope there.
Yeah.
But, how long does that take to do? So.
Yeah.
Thanks for the super chat, Dave. All right,
we appreciate it.
Let's get to the AP poll here, Zach. All right. So if you haven't seen it yet, the AP poll top 25 reads like this: Ohio State number 1, Miami, Indiana, Texas A&M, Ole Miss at number 6, Alabama, followed by Texas Tech, Oregon, Georgia, LSU at number 11, Tennessee, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, BYU at number 16, Missouri hasn't beat anybody, Vanderbilt, Virginia, USF, USC, a lot of U's there, and then 21 is Texas, Memphis, Utah, Cincinnati, Nebraska. If only there was a way for us to determine who would win on a neutral field between Cincinnati and Nebraska. I tell you, Zach, that is the hardest thing with these darn polls, is these teams don't play on neutral fields for us to be able to determine between the two. If only.
Wait a minute. But Cincinnati lost to Nebraska.
There should be a policy
on a neutral field.
There should be a policy with the AP poll that says if two teams are right next to each other and they played on a neutral field this season and one of them lost and the other one won, you automatically swap them. And the team that won on the neutral field gets it.
Yeah. Especially if they have the same record. If they have the same record, it's the logic, man. It's hard.
And Iowa State just lost this weekend, too.
Yeah.
Iowa State just lost. It's not like they are bidding to get back into the top 25. I could almost understand it if Iowa State was still in the top 25. Yeah. They aren't.
UVA is 18th because they beat a Florida State team that has now just been abysmal. That's the only reason why they're ranked 18th. They're a 5-1 team that their claim to fame is beating a 3-3 team.
I'm saying, man, this is not like SEC bias, big brand bias or anything like this anymore. This is strictly just anti-Big Ten. The fact that a Virginia team that lost to NC State and their best win is against a 3-3 Florida State, that gets them 18th. But Washington,
by the way,
who just went on the road and beat Maryland. They can't sniff the AP poll?
It's insane. So here's another one. USC was far superior. You compare USC's win to Michigan against Michigan over Oklahoma's win against Michigan.
Yeah,
They're,
USC was far superior.
yeah, it's far superior. Michigan's had more time to develop as a program, or like to develop Bryce Underwood, regardless of whether you feel like he's been developed at all or not. Another podcast for another time. But USC was better than Oklahoma. Oklahoma just lost. USC is six spots below Oklahoma. It's like, what are we doing? Here's my other frustration. Notre Dame is 13th. They have 2 losses and they beat nobody.
I am okay with. By the way, thank you, Doreen, for sharing the podcast there on X. If anybody else is listening or watching on X, we'd appreciate it if you did the same. And if it shows up here, we'll give
Mm-hmm.
you a shout out. Thanking you for doing that as well. I can understand Notre Dame that high if you also have Michigan and Illinois that
Yeah.
high,
Yeah.
right? Because Illinois,
Be
their 2
consistent.
losses are to the number 1 and number 3 team. Notre Dame, their 2 losses are to the number 2 and number 4 team, right? Michigan,
Mm.
their 2 losses are to the number 14 now and number 20 team, right? If you are going to be a 2-loss team that is still in the top 25,
Yeah.
I can understand it if both of those losses are to the top 25 teams.
Yeah. Well, and Illinois actually has a top 25 win, unlike Notre
Yes.
Dame, right?
Yes.
Like they actually beat somebody.
Well,
Right.
Doreen says she's proud of the Bearcats, so
Yeah.
I'm not hating on the Bearcats. I just don't like that they're above Nebraska.
Oh yeah.
I kind of like
We
the Bearcats. I like
we can
Cincinnati.
we can
So
praise the
sorry.
Cincinnati Bearcats. They just shouldn't be ranked above Nebraska.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree.
Logically, they shouldn't be.
I agree.
I have them ranked in my poll,
Yeah, no, I
just
have them ranked too.
just not above Nebraska.
I think I actually have them ranked 24th in my poll,
Hmm.
unless I moved them at the last second. Why is Missouri ranked? Why is BYU ranked?
Good questions.
I have
B-
BYU ranked, but they are much, much lower.
yeah,
Missouri,
BYU's undefeated, right?
I will say, somebody brought it up in the chat. Virginia did win at Louisville, who is 4-1. My only comeback to that is that Louisville beat Eastern Kentucky, James Madison, Bowling Green, and at Pitt. Which at Pitt, sure, nice win, but I
Yeah.
personally don't hold that up for any, you know,
Yeah.
big value to be able to say, well, we beat a team who beat Pitt.
Yeah.
That's
I
just me though. I'm not trying
yeah.
to dog anybody's thought process. I'm just saying that's me. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Zach. Sorry.
I think to be fair to BYU, they're undefeated. They're I think the lowest ranked undefeated team that's not in the group or that's in the Power 4. So like I still think they're too high, but I can understand it.
Well, but
Um
who has BYU beat Memphis? Like, who has the hardest schedule here, Memphis or BYU?
that is a fair question.
BYU has essentially played a Group of 5 schedule.
That is a
So
very fair
I'm
point.
not mad that they're ranked. Like I said, I have them ranked personally myself. But top 15, when you
Yeah,
have Big
it's
10 teams playing the number 1 and number 2 team in the or number 1 and number 3 team in the nation,
yeah. Yeah.
and they're playing the
I
number 14 and number 20 team in the nation.
yeah. Okay, can we another one? So Ole Miss also undefeated. And Ole Miss has had a couple of good wins, or at least decent wins. But they struggled at home against 3-3 Washington State the 3-3 Washington State Cougars. And
And
like
Kentucky.
yeah, and what here's the thing. Washington State probably should have beat Ole Miss. Do you know what Washington did to Washington State?
59-24. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was at Washington State.
Now,
Why is Washington not ranked?
Well,
And
yeah.
why is Ole Miss 5th?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I have no idea how you can rank Utah over Washington. What has Utah done?
Yeah.
They beat UCLA, who was terrible at the time, and they lost to Texas Tech. Okay. Washington, they lost to Ohio State, and they beat every other team. And you could say none of those wins that Utah has are
Yeah.
any better than the wins that Washington has.
It's so stupid. I don't
So
understand.
and Texas, I'm not mad that Texas is ranked, but to not have again Michigan or Illinois in there Michigan moves completely out of the polls. They lose. Like, you really think that lowly of USC that, oh, they beat Michigan, who's ranked 15th, out of the poll altogether. Oklahoma lost to unranked Texas,
Yep.
and they moved down 8 spots. Michigan loses to unranked USC on the road. Oklahoma loses in a neutral environment, and Michigan gets knocked out 10 plus spots.
Yeah. Well, and the fact like SC is 20th, Texas is 21st. They both like I get Texas beat Oklahoma, but like Texas has 2 losses. SC has 1. Like why are they so close together in the polls? Like why is
Yeah.
Tennessee 11th and USC 20th? Why is Missouri 16th and USC 20th?
Why is Ole Miss so much higher than Georgia Tech? If you
Yep.
want to have Georgia Tech up there because they're undefeated, why is Ole Miss so much higher
Yep.
than them?
Yep. You're not wrong.
And LSU is still living off a Clemson win.
Yeah.
That's not a good team
Yep.
at all. This happens every year. Every year, somebody gets a win over a highly ranked team. Last year it was Texas over Michigan. I understood that a little bit more because Michigan did stay in the poll a little bit longer, right? So I
Yep.
understood that a little bit more. Clemson, they lost and they got out almost immediately.
Yep.
They just kept losing. But
Yep.
LSU stays up there.
Yeah.
And now
It's
Ole Miss is getting credit for beating LSU.
yeah. No me gusta. Yeah, although to be fair, I'm like looking at what I had. I had a hard time. I had a hard time moving LSU any further down than 12. Um, it's the same problem. Like from in my poll, I like anywhere from 8. I feel like my top 7 is very solid. Once I get to 8 to 25, like there's tiers in it for sure. But it's like, man, this is where I'm like, I'm sympathetic to some of the problems of the AP poll because I'm like who, like, how do I do 11 to 20? Like, I just don't know. Um,
Well, I think what you have to do is you have to group, and this is the entire issue with averaging out like 65 voters, right? You put 65 voters together and you try to average out. What the product it comes out with makes no sense.
yeah,
And that's part of the issue is because then the college football playoff committee a week before November says, "Oh yeah, we got to get these rankings done."
yeah,
They say they're working on it all year long. They're not working on it all year long.
yeah,
You can tell they come out every single year and say, here's the AP poll with just a few little minor teams mixed in here and there, and we're going to rank a team at 25th that they didn't even have votes for."
yep, yep. And then everybody will praise it by saying, "Look how different it is."
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
yeah,
All right. You want to get to our top 25s?
sure.
Okay. All right. So my top 25 has Ohio State number 1, Indiana number 2. Again, 1A, 1B. We went over this with the power rankings. I have Miami at number 3. I've kept Oregon at number 4. I have Texas A&M at number 5. You could probably put Texas A&M over Oregon, but I'm Big Ten bias. Screw me, or sue me. Alabama, I have at number 6, followed by Texas Tech, Georgia, Ole Miss, Georgia Tech, and then at 11 I have Illinois, USC, Oklahoma, Michigan, Notre Dame. At 16 I have LSU, Nebraska, Utah, Memphis, Texas, and then right outside of the top 20 I have number 21 Washington, Tennessee, BYU, USF, and Cincinnati at 25. Zach, any issues you want to discuss with my
I'm
top 25?
surprised you have Michigan as high as you do.
Well, I had them 11th last week,
Okay. Yeah.
and I didn't think losing to a USC team that I think I had 16th
Yeah,
on the
that's
road
fair.
was worth it to move them down any more than a few spots, right?
Yeah, I just didn't know, like 2 losses, one of them to Oklahoma, who
Well,
Oklahoma,
I
I
have
mean,
them
I
behind
know,
Oklahoma. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I don't have them that high, but that's fair. It's fair.
they did beat Nebraska, so
Mhm.
that's a good win,
Yeah. That's a good point.
and it was on the road.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of this is that Big Ten teams do not get credit for beating Big Ten teams because they're not one of there's not 11 teams in the conference ranked at the beginning of the season. All these SEC teams get credit for a ranked win
Mm-hmm.
because they had 11 teams ranked at the beginning, and you just keep having teams that aren't ranked beat ranked teams. You're like, oh well, we got to rank them, and then ranked teams play ranked teams, and you're like, oh well, you can't drop them that low. That's all I'm doing here with the Big Ten, is
Yeah.
I'm saying, look, Indiana was number 3, Oregon, or I think I'm number 4, maybe number 3 or number 4. No, I'm number 3. Oregon was number 2. Indiana beat Oregon. Move Oregon down a couple spots.
Yep.
To me, Ole Miss struggling to beat Washington State at home
Yep.
is much worse than Oregon losing to Indiana.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we both have Ole Miss 9th.
Yeah. I don't think Georgia losing to Alabama was all that bad. I believe that was at home, correct?
Yeah.
Georgia lost.
But
so it wasn't all that bad.
Okay, but timeout. Georgia should have lost to Auburn, but SEC officiating is maybe worse than the AP poll.
I was just clapping.
Yeah. Can someone just
my favorite
figure out
they literally had it on the jumbotron, him going down the sideline. Time out.
We have got to figure out.
Look right up there. You do not see it.
We've got to figure out where the money trail is between Kirby Smart and the SEC officials. Because I'm kind of joking about that, but my goodness, how incompetent can you be?
It's just terrible.
Terrible. And I thought Big Ten officiating was bad yesterday. But my gosh, it was like a Lamborghini compared to the hoopty that was SEC officiating yesterday.
At least Big Ten officiating is when it's bad, it's kind of consistently bad, right? Like there wasn't a holding call on David Igbenogson down the sideline, but that ball that was got knocked out of Jeremiah Smith's hand, he also got bear hugged by the cornerback there. If you didn't call it on Davidson Igbenogson, I guess I'm not going to be mad if you don't call it on the Illinois cornerback. But
yeah, there's a difference between consistent incompetence and just completely unexplainable incompetence.
Yeah, I mean, I would much rather have consistently good, but
right.
I guess as long as we're consistent.
But we can't have nice things. So
yeah. So I did have Utah up at 18. I give them their credit. I had them above BYU because I thought Utah played a better team in Texas Tech, and they have better wins than what BYU has. So I do admittedly have Washington much lower than you. Do you want to talk about that really fast before we get yours?
Well, yeah. Take me through your process.
So Washington, yes, they have the loss to Ohio State. I don't know if they have a win quite impressive enough to put them over the win that Texas had against Oklahoma, right? Maryland, good team, definitely a fringe top 25 team, if not a top 25 team at the time that Washington beat them. But at the same time, they also had a pretty easy non-conference. You had Colorado State, Washington State, and I felt like I was consistent in the fact that if I'm going to drop Ole Miss that low because they struggled with Washington State, I'm not going to give Washington all that much credit for beating Washington State. Is that consistent? Am I consistent there?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you look who they have in front of them. Washington has number 14, Michigan, in my poll coming up.
Yep.
So, and that's the thing. I think a lot of AP voters take the AP poll from last year. Like they don't take, or from last week, they don't take theirs and work off of it. I think a lot of them take the AP poll from the average and say, oh, okay, let's work off this. Which I think is a terrible idea.
Yep.
But anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm just, more than anything, I want to be consistent. So if you can say I'm consistent, I feel
I think you are. I like your poll better than the AP poll.
Well, that's good.
It makes more sense to me.
Yeah, because I think if you have Notre Dame that high up there, you have to have Illinois and Michigan too.
Agreed.
You could say Notre Dame doesn't have the glaring loss of 53 points to Indiana.
Yep.
But they also have the glaring issue of Chris Ash.
Good luck against USC.
Yeah. So, but CJ Carr's also really good. So, all right, let's move on, and you can give your top 25.
Yeah, so I have Indiana 1. I said I was going to put Indiana there. I did it. I have no shame. Ohio State number 2. I would say 1A, 1B, but I am putting Indiana 1. Miami 3. I said if Indiana and Ohio State won their games, I think their resumes trump Miami. So I had Miami 1 last week. Also, Miami's resume took a massive hit by like with Florida State losing and with Florida losing. And like USF, I'm sorry, I don't really care. Like USF gave up like over 30 points to North Texas. So okay, cool.
And they also scored like 63.
Yeah, but like I'm just saying, like we were all
Okay.
excited about how many points Miami put up against USF, and then North Texas kind of does the same thing. Cool.
Okay.
All right.
I just wanted to point out that 63 is also
Oh yeah, they didn't lose that game. I'm just
right.
saying
Okay.
that
Okay.
like
Sorry. Go ahead.
their resume took a hit. Ohio State and
Okay.
Indiana's, in my mind, did not. I thought they both notched good wins, especially Indiana. Texas A&M 4. I have Alabama 5 as the best one-loss team. I do think they have looked very good. They have a number of good wins. And I just really, really think that they are excellent. I think they're rounding into form. Oregon 6, Texas Tech 7, USC 8, Ole Miss 9, Georgia 10. Next team I think I'm going to get a lot of hate for. Missouri 11, LSU 12, Georgia Tech 13, Washington 14, Oklahoma 15, Notre Dame 16, Vandy 17, Nebraska 18, Illinois 19, Tennessee 20, Texas 21, Michigan 22, BYU 23, Utah 24, USF 25.
Okay. Um, I'll ask you about Missouri.
Yeah. I honestly I thought they should have beat Alabama yesterday. And I think that to me I was like I felt like even and this is going to sound like SEC logic. I did feel like that loss kind of legitimized them. I also and I'm realizing this as I'm talking it out. I think there's a little bit of future projection because I'm not sure who's going to beat Missouri down the road, which I know is not the point of the poll. But I
Yeah.
think as I was doing it, I think I got stuck on that a little bit. Um, so I think that's probably where I have them. Bo Prabula is good though.
Yeah. I feel like my hesitancy to give any type of credit for playing Alabama close is saying, well, yeah, but Florida State beat them, and Florida State's 3-3,
And
right?
that's fair. I think that's
You
fair.
know, so I'm not necessarily saying you're wrong. It's just that's my personal hesitancy with Missouri to say, oh, okay, they won't drop that far because Alabama has shown Alabama did not lose to the number 1 and number 2 team in the nation like Illinois did,
Yeah.
right? They lost to a team that's unranked. So
Yeah.
if you play them close, what was it? Was it you playing really good because Alabama's really good, or did
Yeah.
Alabama just have another stinker game?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I think it's fair. I don't I watching it, I don't think Alabama was having a stinker game. So I mean, it's I think watching the game, watching that game play out, Alabama is a much better version of themselves than they were in week 1, and I think that matters. And they like I know South Carolina is not good, like they're not great, but part of the reason why they're not great is because South Carolina has lost to teams like Missouri. So I I do think I don't know. I think
I
they and LSU, I think, if I'm honest, are the 2 toughest teams to rank for me.
I think my biggest issue with trying to count a South Carolina win as a good win is right now you have 3 SEC teams that don't have a good win, and all 3 of them are trying to count South Carolina as a good win.
That's fair. That is
That's
very fair.
LSU, Missouri, and Vanderbilt, right? You can't
Th-
all 3 say, "Oh, well, we have a good win," when that
yeah.
team their best win is Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
You know, like
You
yeah, you
know,
beat Kentucky at home, but Kentucky sucks, man.
I'm just looking I'm looking at like head to head and all that. I think if I could redo it, I'd put Mizzou below Oklahoma and I'd have them below Vandy. Cuz I just realized this. Vandy played at South Carolina and beat them 31-7. That is not what Mizzou did. So I think I was a little prisoner of the moment on
Yeah.
Missouri.
Well, and I see what you're saying. If you want to say like, oh, they gave Alabama a really good game, they were good. I just think we need to be consistent and do that with other teams too,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yep.
so
No, I
that's
think
my
you. I
biggest
think
thing.
I think that's a valid critique.
Yeah. So okay. Um, Nebraska over Michigan. Did you have them over Michigan in your power ranking too?
Yes. Yeah. I think I know Michigan beat them. This is the same reason for why I have USC over Illinois, and people are mad at me about it. But I'm like, listen, SC has one loss, Nebraska has one loss. That matters. And I
Mm-hmm.
know, like, Michigan has had a tougher schedule. They went on the road to Oklahoma. I get that. But I do think you also have to take the schedules as they are. And I have Nebraska at 18. I have Michigan at 20 22, and I just feel justified in that from the record.
Mm-hmm. Philip says need a podcaster poll. Here's my idea. You guys tell me if it's a good idea or not. I don't know if it's doable, but here's my idea. I want to create a poll of like 5 or 6 people for a podcaster poll. They never see each other's polls
Oh,
and they never see the top 25.
oh,
You purposely shield yourself. Obviously, you're going to see the rankings on TV, but I think if you purposely shield yourself from like actually looking it up and like making it with that or like looking up like FPI or anything like that,
mm,
if you actually just shield yourself from all of that and then see what happens. Because I think that's the biggest issue is everybody sees each other's
yep,
and they think,
that's
oh,
fair.
if I don't have Alabama in the top 5 or in the top 6, you know, that's gonna be really bad
That's a good
because
point.
everybody else has them there. You know, so but I don't know if it's doable. That's the hard part.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good. I like that though. I like it a
Yeah.
lot.
So, all right, my college football playoff prediction. Kept Ohio State at 1, moved Indiana up to number 2. I think those two are going to play in the Big Ten championship game, and I think that they are going to be number 1 and number 2, and they will do the same thing. They will not move either of them. So I have Miami at number 3. I have Alabama at number 4. I don't think that the committee is going to allow an SEC team to not get a bye, so
Mhm.
I don't know if they actually are going to deserve it, but I think they're going to have them there. Texas Tech, I think, is going to go undefeated. They'll have no choice but to have them at number 4 or number 5. And then Ole Miss, I have at number 6. That schedule is just way too easy to end the season. Texas A&M, I have at number 7. Oregon 8. Georgia 9. I thought about Oregon at number 7, but I honestly think that the committee will not do another Oregon Indiana potential matchup. I think that they would be more in favor of an Oregon Ohio State matchup since they did not
Mm,
play this year. I think they saw what they had last year in Oregon and Ohio State rematch and they didn't like it. And I think that they're going to if they are going to have it be a Big Ten team they play, it'll be a Big Ten team they haven't played yet. Number
yep.
9, I have Georgia. I think that they also are going to look at the juiciness of the matchup, the rematch of Ohio State Georgia. There, Notre Dame at number 10. I think they're going to win out the rest of the year. USC at number 11, or if they don't win out the rest of the year, USC will beat them. And I think that the those two there could get in and work that out. And then number 11, USC. Number 12, I have Memphis. Thoughts, Zach?
Yeah. So you're assuming that USC loses to Notre Dame and wins out the rest of the way.
Honestly, I don't know. And that's kind of why my prediction has both of them in right next to each other because it's like how that game plays out will determine kind of like who stays in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. I think it's gonna be tough for both of them to make it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it would be tough for both of them to make it. I do think that if Notre Dame wins and USC beats Oregon, that would put them in though.
yep. Yep.
But I also don't know if Oregon stays in if they lose to USC.
Oh wow, yeah, because their resumes took a huge hit.
I think if
It's taken a
Washington stays good, they could.
yeah, but
But
yeah, it's taken a huge hit with Penn State just
yeah.
falling apart.
But I will admit, I have a kind of a funky thing here with USC and Notre Dame. It's just I I think that is going to decide who makes the playoffs between those two. And there's a possibility they could both make it. So I just went ahead and put them both in and said we'll figure it out next week.
Okay, that's
So,
fair.
all right, you want yours up?
Sure. Yeah. So I switch things around a bit. I have Indiana as my number one seed. At this point, and things can change, but I really like Indiana, man. Like they were just so. I mean, they were just so good against Oregon this past week, and so for now, they're my number one seed. And I do think they will have an undefeated conference champion be the second seed. So I've got Miami number two. I think Ohio State loses the Big Ten title game, drops to 3. Alabama 4. Texas Tech. I don't think Texas Tech is losing a game in the Big 12. I've got them 5th.
Yeah, I don't think
Uh,
they do either.
I've got Oregon 6th because I have them winning out. 7th, I have Texas A&M. 8, Ole Miss. To your point, they're not going to lose. I don't think they're going to lose enough games to get knocked out of the playoff, despite the fact that they stink. Um, Georgia Tech, I still don't.
And they have a really easy schedule to end the year, too.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I would not be shocked if they beat Georgia because I don't think Georgia's good.
No. Nah,
Um,
I don't think Georgia has good offense, and I don't think they
yeah,
have a good pass rush anymore.
yeah. USC 10. I have Mizzou at 11 because similar to Ole Miss, like they have a pretty manageable schedule down the stretch. And then 12, I have USF.
Okay. I got no issues. I'm good with it.
Okay.
You want to see who FanDuel has as the favorites to make the national championship game?
Sure. However, Billy said, remember that Zach picked Illinois to beat OSU. Not true. I picked them preseason,
Yeah, you didn't pick them
but
this last time, though.
yeah, but before the week, I wasn't on the show, but JR has it recorded. I sent my picks to him.
And
The
I read them.
twos, yeah.
I read them.
Did you read them? Okay. I said 34-17 Ohio State over Illinois. So lies, Billy. All
No,
lies.
he's not lying
Not
because
lie.
you
No,
did
he's
pick
not.
them at one point,
You
but
it's
you retracted the pick.
yeah, that's
So we're
right. I
not.
got more
Your
information.
your retraction went better than Josh Pate's retraction.
Wow.
That was not good.
Yeah. Also, real quick before you read FanDuel, my team's Ohio State. Mr. Bucknuts. He asked who my team was.
Hmm.
I'm a Buckeye through and through.
Hmm. All right. So who are you guessing are the favorites to make the national championship game?
I mean Ohio. I think Ohio State,
Hmm.
Miami,
Nope, not Miami.
Alabama.
Yep.
Yeah.
Miami is plus 360. Alabama is plus 320. Ohio State is plus 145 to make the national championship game. They have odds for making the semifinals as well, which is rather interesting. Miami actually has the best odd, or the second best odds to make the national or the semifinals, which is interesting. They have better odds than Alabama, and then Ohio State is the only team with minus odds
Go
to make the
figure.
semifinals.
Yeah, something that's interesting. Like if you look at Sagarin and FPI and all these more computer generated metrics and power ratings, they are not high on Miami. Which it's just
That's
interesting
because
because
Miami doesn't finish games.
yeah,
A lot of these metrics they take into account fourth quarter a lot if you're within a certain like point difference. And Miami, they've beat teams handily, but they have let them stay around enough to where it can be within like 21 points. And that's typically one of the it's like 21, 24 points depending on what you look at.
yeah,
And so because it's considered still a game in the fourth quarter at that point, they heighten those fourth quarter um stuff a little bit more. Stuff.
that yeah,
It's a very technical term there, but you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
And I think that's one of the issues why Miami is not thought of as highly by some of the computers.
yeah. It's just interesting. They're sixth in Sagarin. They
Mm-hmm.
are eighth in FPI.
Hmm.
I mean, they're below Texas. They're
They
below
also are in the
Georgia.
ACC. They don't
Yeah,
play anybody there.
that's true.
I mean,
All
the ESP and FPI, although they're a bias for the SEC, they are not biased for the ACC.
no, no. Here's the other interesting thing. So I know I said I picked Indiana. This is why I'm like hesitant with it. The difference between Indiana and Ohio State. By the way, Ohio State and Indiana are 1-2 in FPI. Like Indiana is above Alabama in FPI, which I think is crazy. But Ohio State is a full 3 points better than Indiana. And just to give you an idea of what that is, Indiana is 0.4 points above Alabama. Like it's a sizable difference. And same thing with Sagarin. The number 2 team in Sagarin's Notre Dame. It is a 4.5 point difference between Ohio State and Notre Dame. Between Notre Dame, Oregon, and Indiana, or between Notre Dame and Oregon, who are 2 and 3, they are 0.04 points apart.
Mm.
And like Indiana is almost a full point under Notre Dame. Ohio State's tracking well above everybody else right now.
You know who you could look at on FanDuel that has some nice odds to possibly make the national championship game? You just mentioned them.
Uh, Notre Dame.
No, another team from Indiana. The Hoosiers are plus
Oh well, yeah.
430.
Sorry, I
That is fourth best, plus 430. They're behind Miami and Alabama. Plus 430 for Indiana to make the national championship game. If you're an Indiana believer, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's
I
pretty
think it's.
interesting.
I mean, I think they are. I'll say this: they're going to win at least a playoff game, probably multiple playoff games.
Oh yeah. They are plus 145 to make the semifinals. That's again fourth best.
Yeah.
And then to make the quarterfinals, they are minus 370. Ohio State is minus 3,000 to make the quarterfinals.
Mm.
So the
Minus
teams they think that will be in the quarterfinals are Ohio State, Oregon, Miami, Alabama, Georgia, Texas A&M, and Indiana. Indiana has better odds than Texas A&M, Georgia, and Miami
Mm.
to make the quarterfinals. But Miami has better odds to make the semifinals, which is interesting.
Hmm.
I guess they just think if Miami wins, yeah. I don't know. I find it fun to see how the odds kind of match up, and I like that little thing there. So if you have
Yeah.
if you want to find those odds, you can find them at FanDuel, and you can find Zach's data over at Sagrid, right, Zach?
Yep. Yep. Yeah. My
I've been using
data.
FEI a lot. Yeah, no, yeah, your data. I've been using FEI a lot now.
Yeah. Yeah. What are
Yeah.
they? What are they saying?
Well, they're not high, very high on Indiana.
They did.
Um,
They've not. They've not adjusted for this week though.
oh, they haven't.
No. I just started looking it up. Um.
Yeah, yeah, they are opponent adjusted efficiency, which I think is neat. So yeah, they have Indiana at 5-0, and they have Oregon at 5-0 still. So yeah, they haven't adjusted yet. So we'll see what they come up with.
Yeah.
Come on, FEI. Sunday. Adjust. All right, Zach. I think that's all we have. Correct? You got anything
Yeah.
else?
No, we've been here too long. We've been
Oh,
here 2 hours.
we have burned the midnight oil tonight
Hmm.
on the Big Ten Huddle. You guys got a full 2 hours. Philip, I hope you're happy out there. Probably gonna ask for 5 hours next, but that's fine. Anything else, Zach, before we get out of here?
Make sure you check out the our video on James Franklin getting fired. Um,
Yes, that was almost at 1,000 views when we came on here. So
yeah.
there you go.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
check that
definitely
out. Check out.
check it out.
We didn't get to Saban, unfortunately. Had too much AP poll to get to, but I did a video on Saban, kind of tore his whole argument apart, and we still had SEC fans in the and they were disrespecting my hat, Zach. I was less upset with them disrespecting my take than I was with them disrespecting the hat.
I think it's a
This
great
one,
hat.
this
It's a
one,
great hat.
they cannot refute. Undefeated in hypothetical matchups.
It's true.
The SEC.
It's true.
The
I
Big
might
Ten
I
beats
might
the
need to
SEC
buy
by
it.
later
I
than
might need to buy that hat.
you'd look good with a white hat and gold lettering in front of it. The only issue is that the line is like the like rope on it is black. I couldn't make it blue.
Huh. Can you take the rope off?
I mean, I guess you could. Yeah, it's not doing anything. You could.
Huh.
So it's a yacht hat.
A yacht hat. Mm,
Yeah,
there we go.
go on a yacht with this hat. I know you go yachting a lot.
Not yachting. I do like cruises though.
All right.
That's very different from yachting.
We're talking about yachts now. I think it's time for us to end the show.
Yeah.
And women's volleyball has just come up in the chat. So
There we go. Yeah, it's time to leave. That's
all
when I
right,
make my
everybody.
exit.
We appreciate you being here. Thanks for joining us for this 2+ hour episode of the Big Ten Huddle. We'll be back Tuesday night to give our predictions and previews. Check out, probably we'll have a video or two up on Monday, and we'll have some. I'm sure we'll have some more stuff up for this Penn State stuff that's going on here soon. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one.